Dust kicked up as my truck rolled into Ranch, Texas. Jake Thompson, 25, fresh from Texas A&M, agricultural business degree, was back to run our family's 200-acre ranch. Grandpa Harold, 78, weathered, tough, had worked this land since 1923. Thompsons, we don't budge. Our roots deeper than any fence post. But Karen Blackwell, 60, Lakeside Ridge HOA president, thought she could uproot us. It was January, cold, the kind that bites your knuckles. I headed to check cattle when I saw it. A notice taped to our gate. Bold red letters. Parking violation. 500 fine. HOA access road. Lakeside Ridge. My truck parked on our gravel drive. Our land. Now find. Blinked. Reread it. Our road. Private. Deeded. Since my great-grandfather's time. No HOA ever touched it. Across the gate, Karen's silver F-150 sat, blocking our entrance. Like a steel wall, tinted windows, shiny rims, a vehicle, screaming. Control. She'd been parking there daily, claiming security patrols. I walked over, heart pounding, and tapped her window. It slid down, slow. Karen's face, sharp, pearls gleaming, eyes cold, like a snake's. What do you want, farm boy? She snapped. Ma'am, I said, keeping calm. This is Thompson Ranch, private property. Your notice. It's wrong. I held up the paper, my voice steady. We've got deeds from 1923. Karen laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Times change. Kid, this road, HOA property, per our survey. She leaned forward, smirking. Pay the fine, or face. Leans. My jaw tightened. Leans. On our land. I pulled out copies of our deeds from the glove box. Crisp. Legal. These say otherwise, I said, handing them through the window. Karen didn't look, just tossed them onto her seat. Cute, she said, voice dripping. Disdain. But Lakeside Ridge owns this community. Your little farm. It's in our way. Her eyes glinted. Not safety. Power. Grandpa Harold stepped out from the barn, his boots crunching gravel. He read the notice, slow, his face unreadable. Jake, he said, voice low. She's not. After parking. She wants our land. I nodded, feeling the weight. Our ranch sat where old fields met new subdivisions. 5 years ago, just farms. Now, HOA mansions sprouted like weeds. That night, I called Emily, my girlfriend, 24, a UT law student, sharp, fearless. Jake, she said, voice crackling through the phone. That notice, it's fraud. You're not HOA members. That road, it's yours. She paused, typing fast. I'll check. County records. Tomorrow. I paced. The porch, stars bright. Above, Karen thought, We were simple farmers. She didn't know. We'd fight. Next morning, another notice. $1,000. Unapproved vehicle. Thompson property. Our tractor. Parked. By the barn. Now, a violation. I laughed. Bitter. Karen's truck. Still blocked. Our gate. I snapped. Photos. Timestamps. Her license plate. Grandpa watched. Sipping coffee. She's bold, he said. Eyes narrow. Reminds me of bullies in Vietnam. His tone chilled me. Grandpa, a combat engineer. 2 tours. Wasn't just a farmer. We drove to the HOA office. Glass doors. Fake stone. A fountain. Dry. Mocking the drought. Inside, Karen sat behind a desk, pearls clicking as she typed, "Back, farm boy." She said, not looking up, "Your fines are illegal," I said, dropping our deeds on her desk. "This stops now," she smirked, pushing them aside. "Pay or sell," she said, voice flat. "Your choice." Grandpa stepped forward, his shadow long. "Ma'am," he said, calm. "You're on thin ice." Karen's eyes flicked up, annoyed. "Old man, take your boy and go." Lakeside Ridge. Runs. This town. She handed me another notice. $2,000. Obstructing HOA access. I crumpled it in my fist. "We're not your members," I said, voice rising. "This is our land." Karen stood, leaning close, her perfume sharp. "You're surrounded by our community," she hissed. "Roads, utilities, zoning. We control. Keep fighting, and you'll lose everything." She turned, dismissing us. Grandpa's hand on my shoulder stopped me from shouting. "Outside," he said. "She's greedy. Jake. Greedy. Makes mistakes." Back home, Emily called. "Jake. County records. Confirm. Your roads? Private. Karen's survey. It's fake." My heart raced. Fraud meant leverage. Grandpa nodded, his smile dangerous. "Time to set a trap," he said, eyeing Karen's truck, still parked on our land. Karen thought she'd cowed us. She didn't know. A 78-year-old farmer with 40 years of machinery skills was watching. Karen Blackwell's fines were lies, but Lakeside Ridge HOA kept pushing. I knew our 200-acre ranch was ours. Thompson's. Since 1923, Grandpa Harold, ex-combat engineer, Vietnam vet, saw Karen's moves as war, not fines. He said, eyes sharp, eyeing her silver F-150, blocking our gate. Again, she wants our land. Emily, my girlfriend, UT law student, called late. Jake, county records. Prove it, she said, voice fierce. Your road, private easement, older than their HOA. She'd found Karen's survey, forged, tied to Horizon Estates. Miami, my pulse, quickened. A developer, not just Karen's ego. Send everything. I said, pacing under Texas stars. By dawn, Grandpa and I set trail cams along the fence, motion sensors, blinking. They'll slip, Grandpa said, nailing a sign. Private property. No trespass. That night, my phone buzzed. 3A. Me. Cam footage. Caught. 2 men. Hoodies. Spray cans. Scrawling. HOA land. On our fence. I grabbed my camera, heart pounding, and ran to the gate. They froze. In my flashlight. Trespassing. I shouted, filming their faces, paint dripping. One dropped his can and bolted. The other mumbled, Karen sent us, before sprinting. I saved the video, the can, their prints, shining in moonlight. Grandpa watched the footage, his smile, cold, sloppy. He said, like Viet Cong, missing our traps. Next morning, our mailbox smashed, tire tracks in the dirt, etching. Karen's F-150. I snapped photos, sent them to Sheriff Johnson, Grandpa's army buddy, Jake. He said, voice heavy, rolling up with deputies. This is vandalism, maybe worse. He bagged the spray can, logged the tracks. Karen's got pull. City Hall, he warned, but evidence speaks. Karen struck again. A notice on our barn. $3,000. Illegal parking. Blocking. HOA patrol. Our tractor. Same spot. Forever. Now a crime. I laughed. Bitter. Crumpling. The paper. Emily arrived. Laptop glowing. Maps spread. Jake. Horizon Estates. Owns. Half. Lakeside Ridge. She said. Eyes fierce. They're forcing foreclosures on ranches. My stomach nodded. Our home. Next, we drove to the county office. Filed complaints against Karen's survey. The clerk, jittery, whispered, Blackwell's tight. With the mayor. Back home. Grandpa added. More cams. His hands steady, like arming a bomb. In 68, they'll hit again, he said, voice low. He was right. That night, glass crashed. Our porch window. A rock inside. Painted. Sell. Or Elsa. I called. Emily. Voice shaking. They're escalating. She rushed over. Law books. Piled high. Harassment. Jake. Maybe Rico, she said, snapping the rocks photo. We sent everything to Sheriff Johnson. Karen's. Desperate, he replied, leaving tracks. My mind raced. Tracks meant proof. Proof meant justice. At dawn, Grandpa stood by the gate, staring at Karen's truck, parked, unmoved. 2 days. Texas law, he said. Slow. 72 hours. Abandoned vehicle. Hours to handle. His eyes glinted. Dangerous. She thinks we're scared, he said. Let's use her arrogance. I nodded. Fire in my veins. Karen wanted war. She'd get one. We posted Notices. On her F-150. Vehicle impound. Thompson Ranch. 72 hours. Karen drove by, saw them, and laughed. Ripping. One off. Finished. Farm boy. She yelled. Peeling out. But she left. The truck. Emily checked. The law. She's trapped, she said, voice crisp. If it stays, it's yours. Grandpa's smile spread like a general. Before battle. Inside. I spread Emily's maps on the kitchen table. Horizons plan. Clear. Grab. Our ranch. 4 condos. They've done it. Before, Emily said. Showing. Records. 3 ranches. Lost. To fake fines. My fists. Clenched. Not Thompson's. Not us. Grandpa tapped. The map. Sweet Creek. Our stream. This creek. He said. Our ace. I frowned. Puzzled. Water rights. Jake. He said. They forgot. We own it. Karen Blackwell's war. On our ranch. Turned. Personal. I watched. Lakeside Ridge, HOA. Cross lines. No one should. Fake fines. Smashed mailboxes. Painted fences. Weren't enough. Karen. HOA tyrant. Targeted. Emily. My girlfriend. UT law student. Her texts. Started. Soft. Saw you. At the diner. Nice hair. Then. Vile. Dump Jake. Or pay. Emily's hands. Shook. Showing me. Her phone. Jake. She knows. My roots. She said. Voice tight. Blocked numbers. Traced. To HOA Wi-Fi. Karen. Or her goons. Followed. Emily's car. Her apartment. One night. A note. On her windshield. Sell. Or hurt. My blood. Boiled. Grandpa Harold. Saw. My rage. Don't swing. Blind. He said. Voice calm. Strike. Smart. We met. Margaret Sullivan. Demolition lawyer. Sharp. Relentless. She studied. Our files. Trail cam videos. Forged surveys. Emily's texts. Rico. Conspiracy. She said. Glasses glinting. Karen's tied. To Horizon Estates. Pushing. Land grabs. Emily's eyes. Burned. Karen's. Stalking. Me. She said. Handing. Margaret. The note. Sullivan nodded. Slow. This. Is leverage. Sheriff Johnson. Grandpa's army buddy. The evidence. His face. Grim. Karen's. Connected. City Hall. He warned. Logging. The note. But this. Harassment. It's bold. Sloppy. Emily filed. For a restraining order. At the courthouse. Karen. In pearls. Laughed. Outside. Her voice. Cutting. Prove it. Little girl. Sheriff's deputy. Shrugged. No proof. No order. My fists. Clenched. Helpless. Back at the ranch. Karen's F-150. Sat. Unmoved. 3 days. On our land. Grandpa checked. Texas law. His fingers. Tracing. The code. 72 hours. Abandoned vehicle. Ours. To claim. He said. Smile. Predatory. She's cocky. Leaving it. There. I nodded. Filming. The truck. Timestamps. Notices. Posted. Vehicle impound. Thompson Ranch. Karen drove by. Ignored them. Smirking. From her second car. That night, Emily's phone buzzed. 1 a.m. Me. You're alone. Tonight. Aren't you? My stomach churned. She stayed at her sister's. Safer, but scared. Jake. She's unhinged, Emily whispered over the phone. I paced the porch. Stars cold. Above, Grandpa joined me. His shadow. Long. She's pushing us to break, he said, like Viet Cong, testing our lines. Next morning, Emily arrived. Laptop open. Cyber expert. From her firm. On call. Jake. We've got metadata, she said. Voice sharp. Texts. Ping. From Karen's office. Geolocation. Matches. Her patrols. My heart raced. Proof. At last. Margaret Sullivan. Reviewed. The data. Admissible. With a warrant, she said. But we need more. To force a judge's hand. Karen's next strike. Hit. Our barn. Paint cans. Tossed. Through a window. Red splatter. Spelling. Leave. Trail cams. Caught. A figure. Silver hair. Glinting. Under moonlight. Karen. No doubt. I sent the footage to Sheriff Johnson. He's reckless, he said. We're building a case. But Emily's texts kept coming. Darker. I know. Your sister's address. My rage flared. But Grandpa's hand on my shoulder stopped me. She wants you to snap, he said, voice steady. Let her dig her grave. We checked. Karen's truck. Day 4. Still parked. Our gate. Grandpa taped. A final notice. Impound. Today. Emily confirmed. It's legally yours. Now. Sheriff Johnson. Agreed. Document. Every step. At dusk. A drone. Buzzed. Over our fields. I grabbed. A net launcher. Snagged it. Mid-air. Its logo. Horizon Estates. There. Watching. I said. Sending. The serial number. To Margaret. She called. Back. Fast. Horizons. Funding. Karen's campaign. She said. Maybe. A councilman. 2. My mind. Spun. A network. Bigger. Than ranch. Grandpa stood. By Sweet Creek. Our stream. Maps. In hand. This creek, he said, owns their subdivisions. Water rights. I stared. Confused. We control their pipes, he said. Smile. Wicked. They forgot our deeds, Karen thought. She'd trapped us. She didn't see a Vietnam vet building her downfall, her truck, her arrogance, our bait. Inside, Emily spread Horizon's records across the table. They've bankrupted 4 ranches, she said, voice low. Ours is next. My fists tightened. Not Thompson's. Grandpa tapped the creek on the map. She's desperate, he said. Desperate means mistakes Karen's shadow loomed, but our plan was rising, sharp, like a blade, in the dark. Karen Blackwell's tyranny choked our ranch. I held proof of her crimes, fake fines, vandalism, stalking. Emily, Lakeside Ridge, HOA, craved our 200 acres. Grandpa Harold, ex-combat engineer, built a trap. Karen's F-150 sat 5 days on our land, abandoned, legally ours, per Texas law. Emily, my girlfriend, UT law student, confirmed. Impound. It's yours, she said, voice crisp. Legal code. Open. Grandpa called. Sheriff Johnson. His army buddy, Bob. Salvage rights. Claimed, he said. Voice steady. Johnson chuckled. Film. Every step. We taped. Notices. On Karen's truck. Impound. Thompson Ranch. Final. Photos. Timestamps. License plate. Logged. At dusk. Karen roared up. In a sedan. Pearls flashing. Face twisted. Move. My truck. She screamed. Pounding. Our gate. Grandpa. Calm. Held. Survey maps. Your vehicles. On our land. Ma'am. He said. Slow. It's ours. Now. Karen's eyes bulged. I'll sue. She spat. Voice shrill. Emily stepped forward. Papers. In hand. Try it. Karen. She said. Cool. We've got Rico. Evidence. Karen lunged, shoving Emily. Hard. I caught. Emily. Rage surging. You're done. I shouted. Phone filming. Sheriff Johnson's patrol. Screeched in. Lights flashing. Deputies. Spilling out. Karen Blackwell. You're under arrest, Johnson said. Cuffs snapping. Assault. Fraud. Trespass. Karen thrashed. Screaming. You'll lose. Everything. Grandpa's smile was ice. Doubt. That deputies searched. Her sedan. Found. Forged notices. Spray cans. A laptop. With Horizon Estates' files. Margaret Sullivan, our lawyer, arrived. Scanning the evidence. This seals her, she said, voice sharp. Karen's face paled. As deputies read her rights. You can't, she wailed. Pearls. Clicking. Frantic. Johnson laughed. Oh, we can. Grandpa stood by the truck, keys in hand. Karen, he said, voice clear. You forgot. Property rights. He pointed to Sweet Creek, our stream, glinting, nearby. This land, our roots, outlast, your greed. Karen's screams faded as deputies hauled her away. Emily gripped my hand, her eyes fierce. We're not done, she said. Horizons. Next. Inside. Margaret spread Karen's laptop files. Across our table. Councilman. Linked to Horizon, she said. This goes deep. My heart pounded. A network. Crumbling. Grandpa tapped. The creek. On his map. They forgot. Our water rights, he said. Smile. Wicked, Karen thought. She'd won. Her truck. Her downfall was just the start. Karen Blackwell's empire shattered. Jake Thompson stood on our 200-acre ranch, watching her fall. Lakeside Ridge, HOA, faced RICO charges. Grandpa Harold, ex-combat engineer, had won. Final play. Karen's F-150, legally ours, after 5 days, abandoned. On our land, sat by Sweet Creek, our stream, owned since 1923. Her greed, our victory. Sheriff Johnson, Grandpa's army buddy, hauled Karen away, cuffs tight, for assault, fraud, trespass. Her sedan yielded, forged notices, spray cans, a laptop, linking Horizon Estates. Margaret Sullivan, our demolition lawyer, pored over the files. Councilman, tied to Horizon, she said, voice sharp. This could topple their network. My heart pounded. Justice rising. Grandpa, in his army helmet, fired up the excavator, its engine growling like a beast. Jake, he said, eyes glinting, watch how we teach. Boundaries. Neighbors gathered, phones raised. Under a golden dusk, Emily, my girlfriend, UT law student, gripped my hand. Her smile, fierce. Sheriff Johnson nodded. Go ahead. Hal. The stage was set. Grandpa maneuvered. The excavator, bucket precise, lifting Karen's F-150 like a toy. It dangled high above Sweet Creek, chrome gleaming. In twilight, property rights matter, Grandpa said, voice booming over the crowd. This truck, abandoned on our land, is ours to handle. He swung the bucket, slow, positioning it over the creek's deepest pool. From the patrol car, Karen's voice pierced the air. My truck, she wailed, pearls rattling as she thrashed. Johnson laughed, loud. Stolen property. Ma'am, he said, reported by your cousin, Margaret Blackwell. Margaret, HOA treasurer, had turned on Karen, signing theft charges to save herself. Emily whispered. Her own family betrayed her. Grandpa paused. The truck, swaying above the water. Karen, he called, voice clear. You find our trucks broke, our windows stalked. Emily, this creek, our land, ends your games. He opened the bucket. The F-150 plummeted, crashing into Sweet Creek with a splash that echoed off the hills. Neighbors cheered, their applause a roar. Karen's scream broke like glass. You destroyed my truck, she sobbed, face purple. Grandpa climbed down, slow, dignified. Your truck, he said, eyebrow raised. Thought it was Margaret's. Johnson grinned, snapping. Photo. Evidence. Secured. Deputies. Pulled. Karen. Back. Her threats. Drowned. By the crowd's laughter. Inside, Margaret Sullivan. Spread Horizon's files across our table. They bankrupted 5 ranches. She said, yours was next. But Karen's laptop held emails to a councilman promising land deals for votes. Federal investigation. Now, Margaret said, eyes blazing. Emily nodded. Her law books piled high. Rico will bury them. Weeks later, Karen faced trial, fraud, stalking, assault, vandalism, 8 years, prison. Horizon Estates collapsed under DOJ scrutiny. The councilman resigned in disgrace. Lakeside Ridge dissolved. Security patrols gone. Our ranch bloomed. Peaceful cattle grazing under wide skies. Emily passed the bar. Opened a law firm specializing in property rights. We barbecued by Sweet Creek. Neighbors toasting. Grandpa's victory. Never underestimate a farmer with an excavator, he said, winking as ribs sizzled. Emily laughed, telling newcomers how Grandpa taught a tyrant about gravity and deeds. The creek sparkled, its current carrying away Karen's shadow for good. Grandpa sat by the water, his maps folded beside him. Jake, he said, voice soft. This land, our roots, outlast greed. I nodded, feeling the weight of Thompson's. Since 1923, Sweet Creek flowed steady, a reminder of our rights. Our fight, Karen thought, she'd break us. Instead, we forged a legacy, unyielding, strong. Emily squeezed my hand, her eyes bright. We're free, she said, voice warm. The ranch, our home, stood tall, its fences repaired, its gates open to friends. Grandpa raised his glass to the stars, to Sweet Creek, he said, and to those who know their ground. The crowd cheered again, and I knew we'd want more than a truck's new purpose. Thanks for riding along with us on this Thompson Ranch adventure. Your support warms our hearts. Tap that like button, join, and share where you're watching from in the comments. Here's to good fights and great friends.